Hey everyone, I'm Joe Manjarrez, with the Manjarrez Group once again. So what are the four main things that protect every home buyer in the home buying process? Well, these four things are known as the contingencies.
What the hell is that?
And out of the whole contract, these are the things that you as a buyer need to pay extremely close attention. What is a contingency? A contingency is basically a legal term in the purchase contract when you make an offer that protects you, as I mentioned, throughout the transaction. So what are the four main contingencies? There's a loan approval contingency, an inspection contingency, an appraisal contingency, and a disclosure contingency.
What?
These contingencies are as it is built in the contract already. And what the seller does is they give you a timeline and a time frame for you to satisfy these contingencies. Now let's jump right into it. The loan contingency is actually one of the most important contingencies in the offer contract. This is where the buyer has a certain amount of time to go through the underwriting process. If you've seen one of my last videos where I talked about the pre-approval and the loan approval and the difference, well, this is where the underwriter gets your file, analyzes all the information that the loan officer has given them, and where they give you the final okay and the final blessing to go ahead and move forward.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Now this step is very important because what if you don't get approved? This contingency protects you from being liable to the seller and from the seller suing you for any cause of damages that they may had obtained through the process of waiting for you to get the loan approval. And number two, we have the appraisal contingency. So the question is, what happens if the property does not appraise at what the buyer offered? What happens if the property appraises less than what the buyer offered? Is the buyer still obligated to purchase the property? And the answer is simply, absolutely not. You don't have to buy it. You get your deposit back that you put into escrow and go on. Or chances are that the seller may go ahead and drop the price to whatever it appraised at. But know that you do not have to buy it and that you are protected by the appraisal contingency.
My mission is to protect you.
Which is really important, and you want to have that in place because right now, the way the market is going, there are a lot of properties that are not appraising at what the buyers are offering. So you definitely want to keep that in place. Now, the third one is the inspection.
You're going to need a GFI there, a new GFI there, GFI there, GFI there, GFI there, GFI there, GFI there.
We all know that there's a lot of sellers that try to put a term in the contract, buy as is. They try to put it back on the buyer and say, hey, regardless of the condition of the property, you have to buy it. Well, guess what? That still does not take your right as a buyer from doing the home inspection and investigating the process in every way possible. So what happens now is if you find out that there's something wrong with the property that you don't like, you could actually get out of the contract. Or regardless if the seller said, hey, buy it as is, you the buyer, you have the right to come back and say, hey, I know that I agreed to buy it as is. However, I still want you to fix this. I still want you to repair this. What happens if the seller says no? Well, you, the buyer, could definitely opt out, get out of the contract, get your deposit back, go find yourself another home. Number four, the disclosure contingency. You have to understand this, that in the state of California, the seller has to provide certain disclosures to the buyer, anything and everything that they know about the home. Being a material fact, not a material fact, does not matter. They have to tell you what they know about the house. Once they provide these disclosures to you, you have the right to review it, to investigate it, and you also have the right to get out, get your deposit back, and move on.
Are we ready to sign some papers?
Actually, no. We have a couple of questions.
The point is, of these contingencies, that's very, very important that you have to know is that it protects you in the event that there's something that comes up that you don't like, you don't get approved, or it doesn't appraise. You could definitely get out. But know this, that when you open escrow, you do open with the earnest money deposit. There's timeframes that protect you, but once those timeframes hit, you and your agent have to be aware and have to be prepared whether you're good to move forward or not. So guys, I hope this was helpful. And again, keep that word in your mind, contingencies, because I'll tell you this, if I was a home buyer that was looking right now, these will be the main things that I would keep in the front of my head and more cautious than anything. So again, if you have any questions at all, please drop it in the comment section, message us, go ahead and please follow us for more videos like this. And again, we'll be back again with more informational videos to help you navigate through the buying and the selling process. God bless you, and we'll see you around.